Morning, Coach.
Morning.
I don't want to assume anything, but I'm assuming you watched the film.
Yeah, no, it took yesterday off. we were pleased with our efforts, so we gave everybody the whole day. No, we watched it.
Anything you saw that didn't catch you the first time around live?
There's always. I mean, I think the tough part for everybody is that you're not. The great thing about tape is that you have a different view, especially when you're on the sideline. So it's tough to see the other side and things like that. So there were a lot of things that stood out from the film. I think one of the biggest things was our resiliency as a team. You talk about getting put in adverse situations, and for our defense to go on the field with the ball on the half-yard line, and not only prevent points, but come up with a turnover. The first play was a great play by Alex Johnson and Darius for a tackle for loss. Then they didn't think they could run it inside, so they tried to get outside, and Hump and Latu did a good job. Actually punched a fumble out, and we just didn't get on it. And then on the last play, when they got into big personnel and then tried to break and get into an open set to make the play that we made for an interception was really what you hope for is, how do you respond to adversity, and really impressed with how our team. And then the good part about it is the result is the offense went on the field and scored, and I think taking advantage of the turnover that our defense created in a great situation was that stretch right there was really good football for us.
Anything else?
There's a lot of really good. I think our defensive front is playing really well right now. We had another double-digit tackle for last game, so I'm really impressed with how those guys are playing right now. I think our linebacker depth was shown through the other day. Guys like John Vaughn with his first extensive action coming off of baseball, and then only getting him late into the summertime here. Started to play pretty well for us. You start to see Femi, I thought was all over the field, had 10 tackles for us, and starting to do some really good things there. Obviously, Alex Johnson's playing the secondary was really, really impressive. I think the O-line's starting to come together. There's a little bit better continuity in what we did against San Diego State than what we did against Coastal Carolina. I think the way both Carson and TJ ran at the running back spot was impressive. I thought Dante played well at quarterback and did a really nice job for us in his part. And then I think it was good to get Colin finally in and see what he can do. Obviously you can see his athleticism and some of the things that he did. The reason that we got him here. So all of it together, it was impressive against a good football team. They've been, one of the top teams in the Mountain West for a while. And got a lot of respect for Brady and his staff and what those guys do. So.
Looked like you also cleaned up the offsides.
We did. We did not have any administrative penalties. So those are the 7 that occurred before the snap. There were no offsides on defense. There were no illegal procedures on offense. There's still some things, obviously, you always have to clean up after every game. And you can't say, hey, we cleaned it up, so we're done. It's something we need to continue to harp on. But those 7 administrative penalties that occurred before the snap, delay a game, too many men in the huddle, encroachment, illegal procedure, illegal formation, all those things that occur before the snap, or what we call self-inflicted wounds. That's us. That's not the defense eliciting something from us. That's just us not, doing the little things right. And, we were pleased with that progress that we made from the Coastal game.
Was that particularly encouraging, given that the aggression didn't kind of tamp down at all, that you still had 10
and
tackles
that's what we hope for. When we talk about penalties and we spend time on, all the things that happen in a game, whether it be third down, coming out, red zone, things like that. But one of our discussions with our team, what we have with everybody, is about the penalty thing. We want our kids to be aggressive, and we want our kids to play hard. And sometimes those things happen. I think Kenny Churchwell's hit, it was debatable. Is it late? Is it not late? He was right on the sideline. You don't want to ever take that out of Kenny. And if they call it, they call it. So it's a penalty. But the administrative ones are the ones that really those are the ones that we really believe are preventable, because they all occur before the snap, and they're all us, not inflicted by anybody else. So to see that, especially the amount that we had in the Coastal game to what we did in the second game, that was you're pleased with that. But now that's something that we talk about now as the standard that we have to hold ourselves to, that we're gonna be able to continue to not be shooting ourselves in the foot, not setting ourselves back a little bit. But, there's always things to clean up. We have too many holes in the offensive side of the ball that we need to clean up. That hurt some drives. One drive we had 2 holes and ended up in a punt situation, because you can't put yourself that far behind the sticks and expect to make any progress. So some of those things we need to clean up, and those are technique things that I think will continue to be addressed.
Looked like Ale had a boot on.
Yep, he's not available right now.
long-term thing? Or?
No, I don't. He's unavailable right now.
Okay, what about Deshaun Merrill? I haven't asked about him in a while.
Yeah, Deshaun has been unavailable for all of camp, and he's just working his way back.
What about Titus?
Titus is unavailable right now.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you about Dante's run. I think it was a 3rd and 9, set up the touchdown run. On that situation, just because down distance, was that the as far as when he went down? Did you want to maybe get down a little bit earlier, or was it just the situation presented itself? As far as
I'm confused.
as far as do you think maybe he could have slid a little bit earlier to avoid some of the contact there?
No, I thought he was fine with that decision.
A year removed from UCLA's first game against an FCS opponent, what's kind of your thoughts looking back at that experience and how it went?
I thought it was a good deal. I don't have anything to do with scheduling, so just tell us who we're playing, when we're playing, and we show up and play. So
What about the HBCU component?
I think it's a great. Martin was kind of spearheaded that, and I think it's a great deal. And I think they're going to do some really cool things. Kenny Washington is going to be honored during this game, so we're excited that some of the things that are involved in the whole process. I think it's awesome. And I think it's one of the things, especially in college athletics, that I'm not sure people understand is. The money games for FCS programs are a really big deal, and it's how some of those programs survive. Being able to play those games. So the fact that we can bring somebody in and help them out at least a little bit with the athletic budget, and then play a competitive game against a really good football team, that's always a positive.
Is there anything you change in? Probably a dumb question, but is there anything you change in the preparation for an FCS game versus an FBS?
No, they have our utmost respect. Their quarterback is an NFL prospect. They have a safety who's an NFL prospect. This is a good football team. They beat Jackson State last year in the Celebration Bowl to finish the year. They just beat their rival North Carolina A&T and pretty handily this past Saturday. So we respect all our opponents, and we prepare for all our opponents the same way.
Last year, it looked like maybe you did a little bit of load management in that Alabama State game. No? Zach Charbonnet was unavailable that week?
Yeah, he was hurt.
Okay.
So that's not load management. That's an NBA term. You got 12 games a year. There's no load management in college football, so at least not in this program. So Zach was unavailable and couldn't play in that game. So we didn't load management in the Arizona State game last year with Zach Charbonnet either. He didn't play in that game either, right? Because he was hurt. So he's unavailable. He's unavailable.
Well, Dorian came out in the second quarter and he said he was
Because
not
Dorian got hurt.
We asked him next week.
Okay, well, Dorian always says he's not hurt, but Dorian got hurt. Watch the play before what happened to him, and then watch the following play.
Okay.
But if you know Dorian Thompson-Robinson, like I know Dorian Thompson-Robinson, in the 5 years he was here, Dorian's never been hurt. Because he's a tough SOB. He's as tough as I've ever coached. And so if you ask Dorian how he felt, I feel great. I would look, his helmet would be sideways, and he'd be looking out through the hole, and he would say he feels great. So that's just Dorian's mentality. That's what makes Dorian such a great player. But that was a trainer's decision, not my decision.
Obviously, Alex had the big day in the secondary, but what would you think about the rest of the secondary, how they performed?
I thought our secondary did a really nice job. It's a difficult scheme. They do a lot of RPOs and things like that. They have so many people packed in the box, but I thought overall those guys did a really good job.
With the way Jay might construct a defense, where even if he's only catching 2 balls, but still those back-to-back pass interferences, is that something that you're looking for out of him to force that kind of stress on a corner?
No, we're trying to obviously. He was targeted on those plays, and that's just how they ended up defending him on those plays. But we don't have any play calls where we're, hey, let's call this play and maybe we can elicit a penalty. We're trying to get him the ball because he's such a productive player with the ball in his hand. So if that ends up being, that's better than a result of an incomplete. But we're not trying to call a play to get a call or anything like that. We're trying to call a play to get him the football.
You've been coaching a long time, obviously. Have you found that players generally perform better when they have clearly defined roles, as opposed like what they're supposed to do, when they're supposed to do it, whether they're starting, coming off the bench?
I think players perform better when they love playing football. So then we got a bunch of guys that love playing football. So I think that's the fun part about coaching this group is that they really just like playing ball. They like practicing ball. They like anything to do with football. So to me, that's what we're looking for in the recruiting process is kids that love playing football, and this group loves playing football.
Thank you.
Questions?
Appreciate it.
Thank you.